Kenya's first cooperative, a dairy cooperative, was formed in 1908. In 1931, the first cooperative ordinance was enacted to regulate operations of cooperatives, marking the first time the government of Kenya was formally involved in the cooperative movement. In 2010, the promulgation of Kenya's 2010 Constitution marked a major milestone for the cooperative movement as the devolved function opened the way for counties to legislate on cooperative development.
The national government is largely responsible for policy and legislation. It is also responsible for issues of governance in terms of making sure that there's proper regulation. It's looking at standardization. It is responsible for registration of cooperatives. Once the provisional registration has been done by the national government, the final registration of cooperatives, and it actually provides for review of the policy.
The development of the new legislation prompted the need for harmonization between the existing county cooperative laws, the National Cooperative Bill of 2021, and the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
One of the things that we are trying to do is to ensure that we align the current law, which was the 1997 Cooperative Societies Act, to align it with the Constitution of Kenya 2010, because there were major changes that were brought by the Constitution of Kenya, the devolved form of government, and cooperatives were actually devolved to be managed at the county government levels. And because of that, the current act could not continue working for them anymore, and that is why it was necessary to come up with a new policy, the process of which started in 2019, and by 2022 it became a seasonal paper.
When it comes to the county governments would then be responsible for the day-to-day operations of cooperatives, their supervision, issues of their promotion, issues of the licensing. This will be the responsibility of the county governments. So this policy really is realigning the cooperative sector with the devolved structure of government, both at the national level and at the county level, and it specifies clearly the respective roles of each levels of government.
At the national level, I think we have made some progress in the regulatory and legislative fields. This has taken quite a while. We appreciate since devolution started in 2013, we were only able to work through and pass a policy in 2021, requiring a lot of dialogue. So we appreciate that there was extensive dialogue, there was a lot of stakeholder engagement, and finally we have a cooperative, a national cooperative policy in place, which was necessitated by the Constitution of 2010, whereby cooperative development was fully devolved.
Actual unbundling of the function is one of those areas that has not been very clear for a while, but with the policy and the bill that we've come up with recently in 2021, that made the rules a bit more clear.
Our role as global communities has been to support the harmonization and creation of an enabling environment, both at national and county government level. Global Communities' CLEAR program has been engaged in supporting and facilitating public-private dialogue, public-public dialogue, stakeholder engagement, as well as provision of direct technical assistance in policy and legislative drafting.
Training and research go hand in hand. It's through research that we are able to identify gaps that need to be filled. Through our research, we have been able to come up with the appropriate curriculum for engaging with communities, for engaging with the county governments. We are working with many county governments in the country we have signed with various county governments memorandum of understanding to enable us to then operate within the counties without worrying that we are stepping on the mandate of the county government. So we are working very closely to train those at the county level, to train the movement at the county level. We are also in those MOUs that we have signed, we do get students from the different counties that come to the cooperative university, where they go through our various programs which are aimed and geared towards supporting the cooperative movement.
Through the support of the global communities, we were able to support some communities that we work with at the university through the collaboration that we have with them. And the support has been more to capacity build the various cooperatives and also the various county governments in the areas of cooperatives. Sometimes it is development of strategic plans or any other areas that are needed within particular counties.
The importance of policies cannot be understated, as these have helped create an enabling environment for players in the movement. Global Communities has played a major role in working together with the government of Kenya, and the following have been successfully established. 1. An inclusive stakeholder engagement at both levels of government and also between the two levels through increased public-private dialogue. 2. Capacity strengthening of county government cooperative development officials through a collaboration with Strathmore Business School. This collaboration helped establish the Executive Public Policy Making Process course, which has seen 264 participants from 28 counties successfully graduate. 3. A partnership with national and county state-run institutions extending technical support in the policy development process. 4. A coordinated development partners mandate to support policy and legislation via a policy network. 5. Technical expertise and advisory in matters policy and legislation. This included formal submission of recommendations for the Cooperative Bill of 2021 and supporting the Council of Governors to conduct stakeholder engagement forums to collect input to the Model County Cooperatives Law. 6. Support for mobilization of state and non-state actors to participate in the policy-making process. 7. Provision of thought leadership and knowledge transfer through policy briefs as well as briefing sheets highlighting, enabling and disabling provisions of the bill.
I could mention probably is Meru County that have been able to domesticate and to have their own legislation, county-specific legislation. This is also the case of Nyeri County after the policy was passed, which I was privileged to work with the national government through COG in drafting. Now, with the national cooperative policy in place, Nyeri County was able to work with other partners like Global Communities to come up with the cooperative policy, which has already been adopted.
I had multiple opportunities to work with the CLEAR program under cooperatives. The first thing they have done is actually train about 5 officers from the Council of Governors over and beyond the officers from the county governments on the cooperatives movement. They did this in collaboration with Strathmore University, Strathmore Business School. And then they've also been part and parcel of the process of coming up with a national policy and the bill that is before Parliament. But beyond that, they so kindly helped us to come up with a bill, a model bill on cooperatives and model regulations on cooperatives, which counties are able to customize and make them fit to the needs that the counties have. So I know we have worked closely together on the Nyeri County and the Meru County bills, which have progressed quite some.
We had a meeting early in 2019 that was sponsored by Global Communities under the CLEAR program, and we did involve our stakeholders and took them through the journey of public participation and what their involvement is in getting a good act out into the public to facilitate a good environment for growth and development of cooperatives. So we learned a lot, and even them as leaders of cooperatives learned a lot about public participation and their involvement as stakeholders in that act.
Policies will allow the cooperatives to fully engage in the creation of an enabling environment of which they are the primary stakeholders. Through the examples we have seen, we know what an enabling environment can do for the sector.
Our entry point has been in supporting, facilitation, and convening some of these meetings, while we've had our government counterparts leading the process, and of course the apex body as well, speaking to some of these issues and leading the conversations through the stakeholder engagement.